Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for varsity wrestling competition. Please welcome our wrestlers from Edgewater High School. They are the Eagles. From Lake Brantley High School, we welcome the Patriots. From Olympia High School, they are the Titans. And your hosts, your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our meet this evening, we ask that you please stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mustang Arena. Tonight's event will be a quad round-robin format. That means that there will be no duels and there will be no team score kept. It will simply be individual wrestlers, and we will rotate who's on each mat after each round. We will have 3 rounds of competition to get as many different combinations as we can. The lighter weight classes will be on the green mat, that is the south mat, or the left mat if you're watching at home. The heavier weight classes, the heavier half of the weight classes, will be on the maroon and gold mat. That is the mat on your right if you are watching from home. For those of you in the arena, we want to make sure you are aware that tonight's matches are being live streamed, both mats. You can go to either YouTube or the NFHS network. We are simulcasting on both of those services right now. If you are on YouTube, you can pull that app up on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device and search for Wekiva Sports. Again, Wekiva Sports is the channel on YouTube. Those of you in the arena, if you have friends and family back home who are not able to join us in person tonight, make sure you let them know. And then, of course, if you are a member of the NFHS network and you want to watch on that app, we are simulcasting there as well. And we hope that you will subscribe to our channel while you are joining us. We are getting our wrestlers ready. Coming up first on the lightweight mat, we will have a 113 class match. We'll have Henry Poulin for Lake Brantley versus Tony Ho of Olympia. On our north mat, we will have a 160 class match between Danny Ha of Wekiva and Nick Baez of Lake Brantley. As far as scoring, Wekiva will be red anytime they are on the mat. That does mean they will be guessed on the scoreboard, so make a note of that if you're here in the arena. Olympia will always be green anytime they wrestle, so that will make them home on the scoreboard, and then the other school will be the other color. Whenever Lake Brantley wrestles against Olympia or against Edgewater, Lake Brantley will be green and Edgewater will be red. And we'll remind you of that by putting the names up on the scoreboard. So once again, on the south mat, the green mat, we will start with a 113 class. We will have Olympia's Tony Ho as green and Lake Brantley's Henry Poulin as red. On the north mat, we'll begin with the 160 class, and we have Nick Baez as green and Danny Ha for Wekiva as red. And welcome to Mustang Arena. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs. I'll be taking you through tonight's contest. I'll be your master of ceremonies. And that did not take long on the north mat, nor on the south. Ha by pin on the north mat, and Ho by pin on the south mat. So we move on to our next weight classes. Next up, on the south mat for our lighter weight classes, we will stay in the 120 weight class. Green will be Lake Brantley's Tyler Walter, and red will be Edgewater's Javar Dowell. On the north mat, green will be Lake Brantley's Timel Isham in the 160 class, and red will be Dalton Varney for Wekiva. Next up on the north mat, the red mat, we'll move on to the 170 weight class, and we'll begin with Brian Douglas of Olympia as green and Simeon McKell for Wekiva as red. Victory for Dowell on the south mat. And now we move on to the 126 class. Excuse me, the 132 class. No, I was right the first time. In 126, for green, we have Olympia's Madden Borst. And in red, we have Edgewater's Chris Callis. Set time twice. Just period plus one, that's all. Hit it hard. I don't know why that's not working. Okay, so that's the other way. Set main clock twice and then enter. Blood time, so blood time red. Start blood time red. There you go. time, and then hit enter to clear it out and go back to regular. There you go. Douglas with the win by fall. Next up on the north mat, we continue in the 170 class. Up next for green, we have Lou Domino for Olympia. And in red, we have Christian Mowry for Lake Brantley.
Up was? Okay. Christians. I'm cheering for you, Christian.
So this will be 170.
No, just the one. It was that one weight somebody scratched.
In a round? No, we're in a new round. I don't know. Wait, what's blood time supposed to be? I thought they had a minute.
Injury is a minute and a half. Blood is 5 minutes cumulative for the whole match. Okay. That's why when you hit it again, it didn't start from 5. It started from 5. So stop blood time. Enter. Now you're ready to. Now and then reset the period. So set main clock twice. Enter. There you go. doesn't have like a full score sheet. It's just a.
I think he's up on more than two. No, no, it started five. It started 5-7.
Yeah, I just.
But you started another two time, right? So we're stuck at 2-7 time. On this one, like, that would have been a fresh set or not? Okay. Right here.
So that's
One red. Yeah, just one red. It's just like any other point.
that's the third period. It's the third period.
Okay, so that means it's the end of the match. And it's just decision victory. Alright, so what are we doing next here? Next up on the south mat, the green mat, we move on to the 132 class. For green, we have Rocco Vargas of Edgewater. With red, Joshua Raphael of Wekiva. Coming up next on the North mat, we move to the 195 class. In green, we'll have Devian Anderson for Edgewater, and in red, Kyron Ely for Wekiva. Vargas by fall on the south mat. Next up, we move to the 138 class. In green for Lake Brantley, Elijah Huyek. And in red for Edgewater, Marcus Davis.
Way too much hand sanitizer now. He's gonna be sliding around.
Levi Pin on the north mat. Next up, we move to the 195 weight class. And for green, we'll have DJ McCrae for Olympia. In red, we'll have Kennard Ramator for Wekiva. Davis by pin. Next up, we move to the 145 weight class. In red, we have Davis for Edgewater. Excuse me, in green, we have Davis for Edgewater. And for red, we have Seth Gavin for Wekiva.
Don't worry about it. Just let it be on 2 and just don't change it. Ready for the next thing over here?
Next up on the north mat, we go to the 220 class. We have Richardson for Wekiva. And Pratt for Lake Brantley.
Is that Gardner who's up there now? So that's him. He's next. I don't know who Edgewater's wrestler is. What's going on? I have Richardson, Wekiva, Pratt, Lake Brantley.
Oh, okay. Edgewater's out.
So are you Gardner? Are you Kyle Gardner? You're what?
Last name, buddy.
Seth.
Isn't Wekiva, right?
Oh, that's right, because yes, you have a bye this round. Yeah. Put Wekiva in red and Patriots in green. Let me ask you, make sure I'm understanding this right.
Oh, yeah.
So, round 2, when we get there,
Okay, so this guy
we're going to
here,
go to...
Rocco, is facing 138.
Okay. So I'm not in charge of that. He's in charge of that.
I was looking at this, so that's flat.
Yeah, it's because it's on the score table backwards.
Alright, so when we get to the weight classes, so this guy here is going to bump up to face.
What are you trying to do?
Set the time?
You want to change the time without moving the period? Set time 2 minutes, enter. You're ready. So you're saying that Vargas is going to wrestle William.
Correct, and then I put his there too this way.
Got it. And then Raphael will wrestle Vasquez.
That's my substitution.
Got it.
I thought about bringing him over here, but he's not really too into wrestling. He even tried out for basketball and got cut.
Next up on the south mat, we move to the 152 class. Our first of 2 matches in that weight class. In green, we have Chris Lebrec of Lake Brantley. And in red, Carlos Portano of Wekiva. And we will now conclude our first round of matchups on the South mat in the 152 class. Our final matchup for green, Jason Ho of Olympia, and wearing the red band, Aaron Starling from Lake Brantley. And now we wrap up on the north mat as well. Our final match of the first round in the heavyweight class. Wearing green for Olympia, we have Matthew Sheldon, and in red for Edgewater, Kyle Gardner. On the north mat, we have now completed our first round of matchups, so we will rotate around to the beginning of the heavier half of the weight classes. That takes us back to the 160 weight class, and this time we will match up Lake Brantley's Tamel Isham wearing the green band with Wekiva's Danny Ha wearing the red band. And now on the south mat, we will rotate back around to our lighter weight classes, and we'll go to the 120 class first in round 2. Wrestling first in green for Olympia, in green for Lake Brantley, Henry Poulin, and in red for Edgewater, Javard Dowell. Next up on the north mat, the red mat, we have one more combination for the 160 weight class. And it will be wearing green bands for Lake Brantley, Nick Baez, and in the red band for the Mustangs, Dalton Varney. On the south mat, we have one more way to shake up the 120 weight class. In the green band for Olympia, Tony Ho, and in the red band for Lake Brantley, Tyler Walter.
I only heard him call Nick, so I was like, why is Tyler calling? Nick, you're up. I have no clue. So hungry. Keep asking me these questions like I know.
And once again, welcome to Mustang Arena. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva High School, bringing you tonight's action. Also want to give a shout out to our broadcast production team. We have Ximena on camera operations tonight. This is our second time ever with a side-by-side live stream. We hope that you enjoy the coverage. I was a little quiet in the first round because I was still typing in all of the matchups for the second and third rounds, because we never quite know exactly how things are going to shake out until we measure who all is here. And so we had some last-minute changes that we had to key in, make sure that we can keep those graphics at the bottom of the screen and on the score table for those who are here in the arena, keep them accurate and updated. This is the second of 3 meets for the Mustangs here at home. Last week we had what effectively became the season opener in spite of its fairly late foray into the season. That was also a quad meet. And that meet previously featured Jones, Lake Howell, and West Orange in addition to Wekiva. Then coming up on February 10th, that will be our third and final event. We'll recognize our seniors at that meet, and that will feature Dr. Phillips and Lake Nona, February 10th at 6 p.m. Coming up next, on the south mat, in green for Lake Brantley, Elijah Huyek, and in red for Edgewater, Rocco Vargas. Varney by pin on the north mat. Coming up next, as we move on to the 170 class in our second round of competition, wearing the green band for Olympia, we'll have Lou Domino, and wearing the red band for the Mustangs, Simeon McKell. Domino by fall. Next up, we stay in the 170 class. We have one more way to match that up. We'll have Lake Brantley in the green band, and that will be Christian Mowry. Excuse me, in the red band, I meant to say, and Olympia will be in the green band, and that will be Brian Douglas. About halfway through now, so another hour at most.
Anytime you're not in front of it, pull it all the way out to a ledge.
Once again, for those of you joining us on the live stream, welcome to Mustang Arena. This is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you for our quad meet. We have Lake Brantley, who joined the competition after we originally published the schedule, so we're glad to have them. Of course, we also have Edgewater and Olympia here joining the Mustangs for Wednesday night wrestling action. This is the second of 3 meets hosted at Wekiva this year. We had one last week that featured Jones, Lake Howell, and West Orange, along with Wekiva. Then we have a tri-meet coming up in 2 weeks on February 10th. That'll be Dr. Phillips, Lake Nona, and Wekiva. Will celebrate our seniors that evening as well. In between now and then, we've got the Metro West Championships on February 6th at Ocoee, and the FHSAA District 2 tournament is at Apopka on February 20th. You can get all that information on our website, wekivamustangs.com.
Text me the link.
Next up on the south mat, we continue in the 138 class. Wearing the red band for Wekiva will be Joshua Raphael. And wearing the green band from Lake Brantley, we have Troy Vasquez. Thanks again for joining us tonight, whether you are watching on YouTube or the NFHS Network. We're simulcasting the same broadcast to both of those services. We hope that you'll subscribe while you're there. If you're on YouTube, you'll see a red subscribe button. You'll also have a notification bell you can click if you want to be notified anytime we go live. We'll be live again tomorrow night as the girls basketball team will be on this court celebrating their senior night. We hope you'll join us for that. And then again, like I mentioned before, we'll have wrestling senior night in 2 weeks in their final home contest of the year, that tri-meet. We also encourage you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We are at Wekiva Sports on both of those services. You can get real-time updates from our athletic events as well as news and information about our athletes and alumni. Again, it's at Wekiva Sports on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, it was supposed to look like this and stuff be up here, so it should be 1 versus 2 and then 2 versus 3. So it'll be Sap McRae in the second round. Got it.
Next up on the north mat, we move on to the 195 class for our second pass through that group. And we're going to start off with, for the green band, Edgewater's Devan Anderson, and in the red band, Wekiva's Ramaya Steele.
That's a limitation of the scoreboard. It doesn't have tens digits past 19. It says 22 here, but the scoreboard physically doesn't have the digits to go past 19.
That's rough for us.
Technical fall for Raphael, and we'll now move on to the next weight class on the south mat. Coming up next, for the green band, we have Lake Brantley, and in the red band, it'll be Edgewater. That'll be Sebastian Rodriguez for Lake Brantley and Marcus Davis for the Eagles. That takes us to the end of the first period. On the south mat, Rodriguez leading Davis 2-1. And that takes us to the end of the period on the north mat. Steele up 6-3 over Anderson as we go into the third. Davis getting the near fall, trying to get the fall with 90 seconds left in the second. Have an escape for Anderson over on the right-hand side. And Anderson and Steele push their way out of bounds. Minute 23 left in the third. Steele up 7-4. Reversal for Rodriguez. Will put Davis on the ropes and narrow the lead to 2. Again, we want to welcome you to our YouTube live stream. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you'll subscribe while you're here. My name is Mark Barchi, the Sports Information Director at Wekiva High School and voice of the Mustangs. Supported by our broadcast production program, who's provided a lot of the equipment that is enabling us to bring you this live stream tonight. This is the second time we've tried doing a split screen so we can keep 2 mats on the screen at once. And we are glad that you're here. Please feel free to avail yourselves of the live chat if you want to express your support for any of these athletes, or if you have any questions that I can answer for you.
Seth and Darius is going to wrestle again at 145. Seth and Darius, they're going to wrestle again on this match.
Okay. That takes us to the end of our first 195 contest of the second round. Coming up next, wearing the green band for Olympia, DJ McCrae, and wearing the red band for Edgewater, Lucas Sapp. And we're off on the north mat. Meanwhile, south mat, 40 seconds left as the Patriots try to pick up a pin here from Rodriguez.
We have an additional match. Oh, you got it. Okay.
That takes us to the end of the contest in the 138 class, and in the 145 we're going to have a repeat, a rematch of round 1, since these are our only 2 145 wrestlers. So once again, wearing the green band for Edgewater, Darius Davis, and wearing the red band for Wekiva, Seth Gavin.
I was supposed to be the third 45 pounder, but I missed the weight. That's funny. Justice.
You want
Victory by fall for Davis. And that takes us to the end of the 145 class. We now move on to the 152 class, our final class in the lightweight mats. And we have 2 combinations to go there. Starting off, wearing the green band for Lake Brantley, Aaron Starling. And wearing the red band for Wekiva, Carlos Portano. That takes us to the end of the contest on the north mat. Victory there for McCrae. Next up, we will move on to the 220 class. In the 220 class, wearing the green band for Olympia, Ashton Hage. And wearing the red band for Lake Brantley, Justice Pratt. And I apologize, I didn't update the names properly on that last one, but that was indeed McCrae versus Sapp, and now we have Hage versus Pratt. Hague with the victory on the north mat. And we have one more contest on the north mat to wrap up our heavyweight round. Wearing the green band for Olympia, we have Matthew Sheldon. And if I'm reading my score sheet correctly, we actually have an intra-squad match, as the other wrestler will also be from Olympia, Max Novell. And of course, since those uniforms match, we will need the bands for this one. Again, it'll be Sheldon in green and Novell in red.
that's gonna end pretty soon too, right?
Yeah, on that side, we have actually not started the third round yet, so we're almost in the same place. But that's where the half of that is. It's got to get down here, and
So it's just
that's got to get to the end.
so it's not too far off. Let me talk to the coach. So how many more matches do we have over here?
Over here we have 5 more.
Oh, so let's push.
There we have
Let's push Sam's match. Let's push it back.
Okay, so you want to go to the lightweights and put Forrest Dowell over here next?
No. How many more matches do we have on lightweight?
We have 5 more. So here,
What I'm saying is.
the blue ones are scheduled for the
Oh,
lightweights.
so we're talking about this side.
Yes.
Sap is this side. How many more matches do we have on this side?
3. He would be next, and then 2
So
more.
just push the other two up. So the next, what's next after Sap?
Would be Hage Richardson, who also just went.
Okay. So let's take a 5-minute break on this side. So we haven't started round 3 here yet.
Correct. We have 1 more to go before round 3.
So we'll just wait. That should be it's about a 10-minute. 10-minute. This is to be 5 minutes. I would. Is 1 more match here or 2?
1 more in round 2, and then 4 in round 3. And then this will be the end of round 2, and then 3 more.
I would wait till this is over and then we'll start.
Start both round 3s together. Yep. Got it.
7 to 10 minutes.
And that ends both matches. We have a victory for Novell on the north mat. We had the victory for Starling on the south mat. And on the north mat, we're now going to take a short intermission because they are running a little ahead of schedule, and we don't want to have our wrestlers having back-to-back matches without enough time in between to recover. So we'll take a quick break on the north mat. On the south mat, we are ready to move to our next weight class, and it is actually our final match of the second round, and that will be in the 152 class. Coming up next, wearing the green band for Olympia, Jason Ho, and wearing the red band for Lake Brantley, Chris Lebrec. And since that's the only mat that's operating right now, we'll make that a little bigger for you. Say hello to our athletic director and trainer. Takedown for Lebrec. Minute and a half to go in the second. Again, for those of you just joining us, welcome to Mustang Arena. We have 2 mats going. Only one active right now because we had one moving a little faster than the other. Yeah.
I'll go stand.
We're just paused on this one because the only people who need to go in round 3 just wrestled moments ago. So we're going to let this match happen. One more here.
He has this one. I already said, really? Is he turning on? I waited. I did it.
That takes us to the end of the second period. 10-3 lead for Lebrec. Ho will start down to open up the third.
So after this match, this kid, this is his 100th career win. So if you want to make that
Yeah, absolutely.
it was the last match, but he broke away recently.
Takes us to the end of the match, and congratulations to Chris Lebrec on that major decision victory, which is now his 101st career win. And that takes us to the end of the second round. We have just a few combinations left, and we're going to start on the north mat. Their first matchup is Ramator for Wekiva and Sap for Edgewater. Coming up next on the south mat, will also be beginning their round 3. Next up for them, we go back to the 126 class, and in the green band, we have Madden Borst for Olympia, and in the red band, Javard Dowell for Edgewater. Borst by fall. That takes us to the end of the 126 class third round. Next up, we move on to the 132 class for the final match there. In the green band for Edgewater, Chris Callis. In the red band for Wekiva, Joshua Raphael. Ramator goes into the third leading 4-1 on the north mat. About 25 seconds left on the south mat with Raphael leading 2-1. Again, thanks for joining us tonight. We're getting ready to wrap up here. Each side has just one remaining match on the south side, 2 remaining matches on the north side, so we got 3 total to go here. Getting ready to wrap up tonight's action. Again, we hope we'll see you in 2 weeks as the Mustangs wrap up their home season. They'll be hosting Dr. Phillips in Lake Nona and another setup that is very much like this with a round-robin tri-meet, and we'll also be celebrating our seniors that night. Metro West Championships coming up February 6th. FHSAA Class 3A District 2 individually bracketed tournament at Apopka coming up February 20th. Metro champs at Ocoee, district champs at Apopka this year. Raphael by fall. That takes us to the end of the 132 class, and we have one more match to take care of on our south mat. It's in the 138 class. Wearing the green band from Lake Brantley, we have Sebastian Rodriguez. And wearing the red band from Edgewater, Rocco Vargas. Meanwhile, on the north mat, we have 2 more matches. First one is going to remain in the 220 class. And wearing the green band for Olympia, we have Ashton Haig, and for Wekiva, wearing the red band, Courtney Richardson. Up next, we have our final matchup in the heavyweight class. On the north mat, wearing the green band for Olympia, Max Novell, and wearing the red band for Edgewater, Kyle Gardner. Gardner by fall, and that does it for the North mat. A minute left in the second on the South. Two nothing lead for Vargas at the end of 2 minutes to go.
I switched to one only since when this one finished.
Thank you.
Halfway through the third, 2 more points picked up for Vargas. Looking to see if he can get a pin in the last 60 seconds of the third period. This is our final match of the night here at Mustang Arena. Again, want to extend my appreciation to Keith Dickerson and our broadcast production program. Our camera operator tonight, is it Ximena? Jimena. They are instrumental in not just wrestling, but in all sports, helping us to produce high-quality broadcasts, whether there's a pandemic or not. And this is something we hope to continue to provide even after we're able to host more fans here in the arena. And looks like we are going to need just a few more seconds to wrap this one up. Vargas unlikely to get a fall in the last 3.7 seconds, but who knows? Vargas will get a decision victory in our final contest of the night, and that takes us to the end of the match. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out tonight in person or for tuning in online to join us for our quad wrestling meets. Once again, we want to thank the Edgewater Eagles, Lake Brantley Patriots, Olympia Titans, and your host school, the Wekiva Mustangs. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you're listening online, we hope that you will subscribe before you go. Your next chance to catch the Mustangs in action is going to be at the Metro West Championships. That's going to be at Ocoee High School on February 6th. And then your next chance to catch Mustang wrestling action, actually your final chance to catch wrestling action here at home, is going to be in 2 weeks on February 10th, starting at 6 p.m. It'll be an event much like the one you witnessed tonight. a tri-meet as the Mustangs host the Dr. Phillips Panthers and the Lake Nona Lions. That is also the event where we will recognize our senior class of 2021. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. Those of you in the arena, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you listening online, thanks for tuning in. Good night from Mustang Arena.